Hello, lovely ladies. This is Carla Marie, and we have been in COVID-19 quarantine for about 2 months now, and I have determined to learn something new each day. And so what I learned today is that the word goodbye means God be with you. I didn't know that, but here is the definition.
So I thought this was very interesting. Goodbye comes from the term God by, a contraction of the phrase God be with ye. Depending on the source, the contraction seems to have first popped up somewhere between 1565 and 1575. The first documented use of the goodbye appeared as a letter English writer and scholar Gabriel Harvey wrote in 1573. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Now, how did I come up with that little tidbit of information? Well, as I was doing my devotions this morning, I came upon Psalm 105, where it says to sing unto the Lord. So I thought, you know what, I've got a little bit of time, not a lot of time, but a little bit of time, that I could learn how to play this flute. Now, for all of my life, I've played a normal flute, a C flute, and this is not a C flute. So for I got this flute, a bamboo flute. It was purchased by my husband at my request because I wanted a flute that was small enough for me to just tuck in my bag and carry with me anywhere I wanted to, and I was going to learn how to play this flute. Now, I don't even want to tell you how many years ago it was that my husband bought me this flute. But since we are sitting here under COVID-19 and I can't do a lot of what I normally do, I am learning how to play the flute. So my first step today was to sit down and find out what key was this flute in. I found out very quickly it is not in the key of C, as my normal flute is. After quite some time, I found that this flute is a B-flat flute. So now that I have found it is a B-flat flute, I now know that I can play any hymn that is in two flats. Two flats is B-flat. So now I've been going through my hymnal trying to find out any hymns that are in B-flat. And guess what I ran up onto? God be with you. And God be with you, I looked up the meaning and the history of God be with you, and guess what I found out? That God be with you is how we got the word goodbye. So it's been a circular learning process this morning, but it's been a delightful one. So I am going to play for you the culmination of this morning's work, which was finding out that I have a B-flat flute and finding out what each note was, because I could play the notes, but I didn't know what they were. And so now it's going to be a process to learn how to play this flute, but I thought this was really cool. You can just tuck into your bag and you can play it, and I'm going to learn how to do that. It's one of my mini projects. So during my next season of life, I have a few things I want to learn. I want to learn how to play this flute, how to play my other flute, which needs to take some practice to get back up to how I was in high school and college when I could actually play the thing. But I really want to get that skill back. And I want to learn how to sign hymns. So I have a lot of little goals in front of me. These are just things that when I look at my bucket list of things I'd like to be able to do, playing this flute and being able to use sign language to sign hymns and things like that has always been something, oh man, I would really like to do that. So I am picking a couple of things that I just would really like to do, and I'm dusting them off and trying to do it. Another thing that I started this morning, which I'm going to try to get and be faithful in, is just starting a morning stretching routine because I'm not getting any younger. It's not getting any easier to touch my toes. Certainly can't get all the way down there without some struggle. So I need to start stretching every morning. So I'm trying to add that. Another thing I started this morning that I really want to try to keep up is just taking a walk for about 10 minutes, and while I'm walking, just concentrating on memorizing a portion of God's Word, and also just praying for those 10 minutes. So these are just a few little things I'm trying to add to my life. I thought they might be interesting to you. I don't know what you're doing during COVID-19. Some of you are younger moms and you have your hands very, very full. My kids are all gone. So I have a little bit more time, and I probably really should be cleaning my house because it's not clean. But these are some things that I've picked up that I really want to invest in a few things that would bring me joy and pleasure, and also maybe be a joy and a pleasure to others. So here goes. First, I'm going to try to play the song, and then we'll talk a little bit about its meaning. My lips are getting a little bit tired. I've been practicing a lot this morning, so you might have to be a little bit forgiving here.
So when I looked up the hymn, it says, God be with you till we meet again. It's a Christian hymn that was written by Jeremiah Rankin in 1880. Rankin was the minister of the First Congregational Church in Washington, D.C., and had this to say about the hymn. Written as a Christian goodbye, it was called forth by no person or occasion, but was deliberately composed as a Christian hymn on the basis of the etymology of goodbye, which is God be with you. So I thought that was very, very interesting. And here are the words. God be with you till we meet again. By his counsel's guide uphold you. With his sheep securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again. Till we meet, till we meet, till we meet at Jesus' feet. Till we meet, till we meet. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. Neath his wings protecting guide, hide you. Daily manna still provide you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. When life's perils thick confound you, put his arms unfailing round you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. Keep love's banner floating o'er you. Smite death's threatening wave before you. God be with you till we meet again. Till we meet, till we meet, till we meet at Jesus' feet. Till we meet, till we meet. God be with you till we meet again. I thought this was very good. As I was looking at the history of the hymn, it says, no finer farewell can be expressed by Christians to one another as they leave a place of worship than, God be with you till we meet again. The first verse of this hymn expresses to them that by God's counsel he will guide them, John 16:13, and uphold them securely in his fold, John 10:27 through 29. The second verse tells them of God's protection, Psalm 91:3 through 7, and his providing them their daily provisions, John 6:31 through 35. And the third verse tells them of God's protection through the perils of life, Psalm 59:16. The fourth verse tells them of God's protection in the face of death, Psalm 23. As with many other Christian expressions, God be with you has been shortened, abbreviated to the phrase goodbye, and its blessed meaning is lost. This Lord's Day, as you depart from fellow believers, leave them with these blessed words. God be with you till we meet again.
So this is the first verse they mentioned, John 16:13. But when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will guide you into all the truth. For he will not speak on his own initiative, but whatever he hears, he will speak, and he will disclose to you what is to come. So in the song, it's talking about his Spirit guiding you. So that's a verse that leads to that. And then the next one is John 10:27 through 29. And John 10:27 through 29 says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give eternal life to them, and they shall never perish, and no one shall snatch them out of my hand. My Father, who has given them to me, is greater than all, and no one is able to snatch them out of the Father's hands. The next verse that the author mentioned was Psalm 91:3 through 7. I really like to start at verse 1 here, though, because this is just so good. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. For it is he who delivers you from the snare of the trapper and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you may seek refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and a bulwark. You will not be afraid of the terror by night, or of the arrow that flies by day, or of the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, or of the destruction that lays waste at noon. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not approach you. So that's very comforting in these times of COVID-19. God's protection is upon us. And yes, we're all going to die at some point in time. Unless the Lord comes and gets us, we're all going to die. But God's protection is on his children. And we can rest in that. So I thought that was really neat in the middle of this COVID-19 stuff that we're going through. And then John 6:31 through 35 is all about manna. Our fathers ate the manna in the wilderness. As it is written, he gave them bread out of heaven to eat. Jesus therefore said to them, truly, truly, I say to you, it is not Moses who has given you the bread out of heaven, but it is my Father who gives you the true bread out of heaven. For the bread of God is that which comes down out of heaven and gives light to the world. So, and then we read through 35. They said therefore to him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. Jesus said to them, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall not hunger, and he who believes in me shall never thirst. So that is really a comforting one to me, because sometimes I get a little concerned about where the money might be coming from. I have lost my summer job. That's why I have a little bit more time. Hopefully we'll be working some in the fall, but not in the summer. So, but God's in charge of all of that. He's in charge of our daily bread and our provision. Psalms 59:16 is talking about God's protection in the perils of life. But as for me, I shall sing of thy strength. Yes, I shall joyfully sing of thy loving kindness in the morning, for thou hast been my stronghold and a refuge in the day of my distress. And the last verse they had is one that I probably don't even need to read to you, because everybody hopefully knows the 23rd Psalm. It is the one that I was taught by my mother as a young child. But let's read it one more time. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou dost prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and loving kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I'm reading that out of the New American Standard Bible, and I memorized it as a child out of King James, so it was just a little bit different for me. But now, to finish up, I'm going to try to learn how to sign God be with you till we meet again. Only that much. Not the whole song. It's going to be a work in progress, but that's what I'm going to try to do. Okay, so I have learned a lot. I have to go off and learn how to do what I'm going to show you how to do. So I hope you enjoy this, and maybe it will inspire you, as it has me, to spend a lot more time learning sign language. They make it look very easy, but it's not easy. But there's a lot of memory work to it. God be with you till we meet again. So I'm going to do my best. We're going to go very slowly. God is coming up like this, and sometimes it's like this. So basically, this is God. You're basically pointing to God, or this is also God. So God, be, we don't usually sign little words like be and is. With you till we meet. Now meet is like you're going out to meet somebody, okay? Meet again.
God be with you till we meet again. By his counsels guide uphold you. With his sheep securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again.
And I just found another interesting little tidbit in the history of that song. If you listen to the music that I just played for you, you notice that it said, God be with you till we meet again, at the beginning and the end of each verse, of each one of the verses. And so it became a very good song with so much repetition that it was used in a lot of camp meetings and revivals when people did not have hymnals to read. So isn't that very interesting that it was used a lot in revivals through the years and camp meetings because they didn't have a hymnal, and the fact that it repeated so much was a benefit. I learned something new every day, and I always love learning new things. And I am old enough that my mother went to tent meetings. That's pretty old, huh? So she would have sung some of these hymns, and especially this one because it's so repetitive, in a tent meeting. I feel very connected to Christianity past. Don't you? I hope you've enjoyed this little exploration that I've gone on. This is Carla Marie, and God be with you till we meet again. God bless your day.